cheetahs are one of the fastest land animals with a top speed of 70 miles per hour for short bursts. Dogs have an average walking speed of around 3 miles per hour with a top running speed of 15 to 20 miles per hour for short distances. However, some breeds are faster and some are much slower. Like dogs, humans have a walking speed of about 3 miles per hour, with the top speed for the world's fastest human at 23.35 miles per hour, but the average human can run at about 5.9 miles per hour. So how does a walking speed of 3 miles per hour for humans have a negative impact on us when we get on a motorcycle? Our brains are wired from the time we learn to walk for 3 to 6 miles per hour at the top end. When I'm walking across the floor or going out for a walk on a path, the biggest threats to me staying upright are within 10 feet of where I currently stand. Especially on a hike, we're looking down to make sure our feet are on solid ground, that we've avoided any tripping hazards, and that we're staying on our intended path. As soon as we get on a motorcycle, even in the slowest city streets, we're traveling at 10 times our normal rate of walking speed. You get out on the highway, and we're traveling at 25 times our normal rate of speed. When we increase our speed by 25 times on a motorcycle, we have to break some habits that our brains are naturally wired for, and one of those is how far we look up the road. Breaking this habit doesn't come naturally. We have to be consciously aware of it, and we have to consciously break the habit by forcing ourselves to look further up the road, and even through corners, looking further through that corner. So we make a conscious decision to develop a new habit. Throughout your ride on a motorcycle, you should be thinking, where am I looking? Am I looking far enough up the road? Can I see far enough up the road? In addition to looking further up the road, we have to maintain a good following distance and our lane position that will allow us to see further up the road. So how do you evaluate this? How do you evaluate where you're looking, and what are some signs that you may not be looking far enough up the road on your motorcycle? Well, here are some common signs if you're not looking far enough up the road. You've got a lot of close calls. You have to make a lot of micro adjustments to your riding. A smooth rider is probably looking well up the road. You have to perform frequent sudden braking if you're not looking far enough up the road. You have late reactions to road conditions or obstacles in the road. Rather than making adjustments to road conditions, you find yourself having to react to challenging conditions on the road. Looking further up the road is like an early warning system to hazards out on the street and changing traffic conditions. Without it, you become much more reliant on your skills to stay upright. My goal as a rider is to develop and practice my skills and then ride in a manner applying good road strategy so that I rarely need to use those skills out on the street. If you want to develop your road skills, I've got a guide that can help with that. The MCrider Field Guide has practice exercises that you can work on totally on your own out on a parking lot. You can get a digital copy of the Field Guide by becoming a member at mcrider.com/member, or you can order a physical copy like this at mcrider.com/FGbook. How far up the road you look is also extremely important when you're going around corners. So how far you can see through the corner is going to help determine your speed into that corner. Remember, one of our goals as a rider is to be able to stop within the distance that you can see clearly up the road. That means if you're entering a tight, blind corner, we've got to slow down more because we can't see as far through that corner, and our view is very limited. But if we're on a wide open corner that we've got complete visibility through that corner, we can carry more speed through that because we can see what's ahead of us. I learned this firsthand a few months after becoming a rider coach for the MSF, and this technique that we just talked about saved my bacon. I was on a road that I rode 2 times a day, 5 days a week, back and forth to the major airline. It had an S-curve in it that I really liked, and I was on my way home from work. I made that left-hand turn, and now I'm coming into that right-hand turn, which is blind turn. Had a lot of trees in the corner. I'm on a 2-lane road. I've got my head and eyes turned. I'm looking through that corner. Motorcycle's leaned over. Just as a view starts to open up, something didn't look right, and an SUV decided to make a U-turn. So I'm looking at the passenger door of an SUV right in the middle of the road, blocking the entire road. Straighten the motorcycle up, squeezed in the clutch, front and rear brake, downshifted to first gear, got the motorcycle to a nice easy stop, short of the vehicle that was in the road. And it was all because I was riding at a speed where I could get the motorcycle to a stop within the distance that I could see clearly up the road. So it's important that we not override those corners. You know, you've heard that phrase, looking through the corners. And what does that actually mean for a rider to look through the corner? So that blind corner that I'm approaching there, as I approach that corner, I'm looking through the corner. So I'm scanning the pavement ahead of me. I'm looking through that corner, and now I'm looking as far as I can see through that corner to the blind, what was the blind spot of that corner because of the trees there, but I'm looking as far through that corner as I can clearly see. But it's not a real good feeling to have your head and eyes turned. You're going around a corner, and you've got all of this road between you and the exit of that corner that you've looked at briefly, but, now all your attention is here. So I can best explain this kind of like a yo-yo. A yo-yo goes down, it comes back up. My attention, my focus, my nose is pointed at the exit of that corner, but I'm occasionally with my eyes, I'm going to scan back through that road. I'm going to give a sanity check to myself to make sure that road is clear, that I didn't miss some gravel or something in that roadway. But my primary focus is on the exit. But with my eyes, I'm going to occasionally yo-yo back into that road, and I'm going to check to make sure that it's still clear. One of the biggest giveaways that a rider's not looking through a corner far enough is described by a term called 50-pencing. It gets that name from a 50-pence coin, so it looks like this. Unlike most coins, a 50-pence coin is a squared-off corner, and a rider who's not looking far enough ahead through the corner is going to ride that corner like the edge of this coin. They look part of the way through that corner, and then they make an adjustment. They look a little further through the corner, and they make another adjustment. Instead of looking all the way through the corner and completing the corner in a smooth, predictable manner, they're constantly making adjustments through the corner to correct for mistakes because they've not looked far enough through that corner to begin with. So you, me, everyone who's ever ridden a motorcycle develops a vision strategy as infants when we learn to walk. We learn to walk at speeds up to around 3 miles per hour. We learn to run somewhat faster, but we're mostly aware of trip hazards within that threat range of us, which is about 10 feet out. As soon as we start riding a motorcycle, we're now traveling at 10 to 25 times faster than we've spent our entire life developing a subconscious strategy for. So in order to break that habit, we have to get our head and eyes up, looking 10 to 25 times further up the road than what we're used to. The benefits are huge, fewer close calls, smoother, predictable riding, and better cornering to boot. So the next time you go for a ride, pay attention to where you're looking. Are you seeing far enough up the road to make adjustments on your motorcycle rather than having to make last-second reactions, which can be costly? Till next week, guys, this is Kevin with MCrider, and I'll see you on the road. There's a whole lot more to MCrider than just the weekly videos. Go to mcrider.com/member. You'll get instant access to the forums and the field guide. You get ad-free MCrider videos and a whole lot more. Go to mcrider.com/member for all the details.